Hello.
Здравейте! С поредното ни включване за днес. Това е предпоследната презентация. Само след малко ще дадем думата на госпожа Джорджия Бичели, която е директор на езиковия център Lingua Viva. Освен директор на езиковия център, тя е изключителен професионалист и ще ви разкаже какви са общите изисквания за подготовката за кандидатстване в италианските учебни заведения. Наострете слух. Само да напомним какво може да използвате по време на тази презентация, за да се включите в нашата дискусия. Може да използвате чата, за да ни задавате писменно въпроси. След края на презентацията си, Джорджия ще се опита да отговори на всеки един от тези въпроси. Опитайте се да ги зададете на английски по възможност. Ако изпитвате някакви затруднения, екипа на Skylines ще помага в превода. Джорджия също така ще сподели линк към своя календар, където ще можете да отбележите слот и да си запазите час за среща с нея, което ще се случи в седмицата след края на нашето събитие, следващата седмица.
Презентацията, както обичайно, ще трае около 30 минути, след което ще имаме сесия за отговор на въпросите, които сте задали в чат секцията. Така че бъдете смели.
Оставяме ви в компанията на госпожа Джорджия Бичели. Georgia, you can go ahead with your presentation.
So, hello everybody. I'm very glad to be here. I thank Skylines for this opportunity that is given to Lingua Viva, the group, the company I work for, to do a presentation. Why are we here? Why at this Study in Italy presentation? First of all, Lingua Viva, it's a school of Italian. We work since 1976, so we have a long-standing experience in teaching the language, but pertaining to you, a long-standing experience in what is the preparation to be admitted to Italian universities. So this is for us a key point, and now over the years, we welcome many students from various nationalities and for various course types. So the idea of the presentation today is to give you an overview of the test that you will have to take to be admitted to Italian universities. As you well know, some of the bachelor degree courses you can choose are, of course, in Italian language, and there are some degree courses that are in English language. As a school, we prepare not for all degree courses, we would be too good, we are specialized in certain areas. Now I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to run through a presentation of the various tests, so you will have an overview of the various tests you will have to take if you want to study at an Italian university for a bachelor degree. There is always a difference between a bachelor and a master degree. So we are concentrating now on how to access a bachelor degree. So just a second, I'm going to share my screen. So as I said earlier, we have I hope that the screen share will start. We have a long-standing presentation. And I'm not sure if you can see my screen because I cannot see it. Before I could see it. No? Okay. Okay, I will go back. Sorry. We tried it. We ran it through before and it was working. So let's do it again. Okay, so fine. So we have over 30 years experience in preparing students to access Italian university and in the various tests, in the various admission tests. And I want to go through you now to show you what you have to do depending on what you want to study. Here are some general reasons why would you like to choose to study in Italy. It's Italy as a general reason, general motivation, offers a high level of education and really a unique cultural environment. So for example, if you want to study architecture, well, being in Italy, you are actually in the right place. If you want to study design, you can imagine all the major designers or the famous designers have studied or are Italians. Italy has a vast number of universities, over 90 campuses, spread all through Italy. And also it has, last but not least, and also very important, affordable education. Affordable in the sense that you're always, as an EU citizen, going to pay the same fees as an Italian citizen, and also more important, you're entitled to scholarships as well, just like any Italian citizen. So this is also very important. Here you have an overview of Italy and some of the universities, some of the main universities, I mean, the main universities, and this is only part of them because, as I said, there are 90 universities in Italy, so there are much more. There are some very large campuses like, for example, La Sapienza in Rome, which is one of the largest. The two Politecnico, Torino and Milano are very large campuses. And then you have some medium-sized universities. This is the Italian university system. It is very similar, I think, also to Bulgarian, because it is based on a European reform, which is the Bologna reform of 1998, in which divides the bachelor studies into 3 years and the master's, the postgraduate master's in 2 years. And then if you continue, you'll have specializing master's or PhD. To access university, you need 12 years of school. Actually, you have minimum 12 years of schooling. Italians go 13 years between primary and secondary school. It's 13 years of schooling before you access university. This division, 3+2, is carried out in all various institutions, whether you study at a music conservatory or you study at an academy of fine arts. It's always a 3+2 system. Only few degree courses, like in many countries, have what we call a one-cycle degree. So this means that you enter with your high school diploma, you exit with a Master of Science. This is medicine. It applies to medicine because it's at least 5-6 year studies. Pharmacy, and what we in Italian we called architecture and building engineering, which was the old form of architecture degree courses in Italy. It was a 5-year studies. Some universities still have it, but only for Italian. Most of the degree courses are divided 3+2. The test. What kind of test do we have? There are certain tests which we call national selective admission tests. National, like medicine, it's because the number of places, the content of the test, the date of the test is not decided by the single university, but is decided nationally and for all universities by the Ministry of Education. This is medicine, dentistry, vet science, educational professions, and medical health profession. Like if you want to be a physiotherapist or a logopedist, there is a national test. So this means it's not the university deciding. The test takes place only once a year at a certain date, at a certain time, which is the same for all the students. And there is a national ranking. So you will be in a ranking where all the students in Italy have taken your test. Then we have degrees with local and selective admission tests. So local means that the university establishes the number of places available. At times, there is not a fixed number of places. It depends on the degree course. So the university selects the number of places available and is responsible of preparing, issuing, and structuring the test. Or they use a third party, we're going to see, for them to run the test. This year, and we're going to talk about it later, the architecture test, which until last year, 2019, was a national test, this year it was transformed due to COVID emergency into a local admission test. This does not make it easier, but it has changed the structure of how the test is managed. So some examples of local admission tests are, well, as I said, architecture, design, engineering, pharmacy, economics, psychology, and many others, and practically biology, physics, and all other degree courses you might be interested in, which are not listed here. So the only one which have a national selective entrance are medicine, dentistry, and vet science, and educational science and medical health profession. The rest is all with local selective admission test. We're going to look now at the national admission test. So this, as I said before, this is valid for medicine. When I talk about medicine, this is also valid for IMAT. So if any of you are interested in IMAT, for example, the medicine for English IMAT falls under the national selective entrance test. So this is important also for you if you are interested in this type of courses. So the exam date is always in September. The content, the examination body is the Ministry of Education. In the case of IMAT, the Ministry of Education has given the task to Cambridge Assessment Examination Board to prepare the test. But then the evaluation, the ranking, the number of places, it's all decided by the Ministry of Education. The test, this national test, have a very similar structure. It is always 60 multiple choice questions with 5 possible answers, and only one answer, of course, is correct. The timing is always 100 minutes, and the maximum score is always 90. So this applies to medicine and veterinary. We can see here the structure of the test. So what you see for medicine is actually the structure also of the IMAT, okay, just in English. So medicine, whether it's taken in English or whether it's taken in Italian, it has the same structure. So you have 12 question general culture, 10 question logical reasoning, 18 question biology, 12 question chemistry, 8 questions math and physics. The scoring is always the same, 1.5 for the correct answer, minus, so there is a negative scoring, minus 0.4 for the wrong answer, 0 points for no answer. The minimum pass is 20 out of 90. So these tests are screening tests. So this means that the questions and the answers and the scoring, the whole test is made to screen, okay? So you must think, just to give you an example, that for IMAT, this year there were 550 places available, and approximately 4,670 people took the test, Italian and international students. So as you understand, 4,670 took the test and 550 places available. So you understand that this is a screening test. So if you want to take IMAT, you need to prepare yourself very well and to study a lot. And also, of course, take a preparatory course so that you are familiar with the test. The same structure, you have the same number of questions, but a different structure for veterinary. You have 12 questions general culture, 10 logic, 16 biology, chemistry, and math. But funnily enough, it is easier to access veterinary science, which is only offered in Italian, of course, than the IMAT test. Another system with you should be familiar with are all the TOLC, we say in Italian TOLC, T-O-L-C, testing system. This is a testing system that the majority, I would say 90% of the universities adopt to administer the test. And And this kind of test is increasingly popular. First of all, because it's a computer-based test. Very popular this year as well, because due to the COVID emergency, all the tests were taken from home. So this means that they had a system and a platform where the students had to access a special platform with certain security arrangements, and they could take the test from their home without needing to go to university. In normal times, this means when you pre-COVID situation, students would go to university and take the test on the computers at the university. TOLC offers a very large range of different university tests. One of the most popular is the TOLC-E, we call it in English TOLC-I, and I stands for engineering. So this, for example, if you want to study Italian, if you want to study engineering, but in a bachelor degree course run in Italian, most of the Italian university, in order to admit you, will make you take this test, the TOLC-I or TOLC-I test in engineering. This test is also used for computer science and other more technical degrees. So there is, as you can see, it's a computer-based test. It's 20 question math, logical reasoning, science. There is text comprehension, because remember it's in Italian, and 30 question in English. This is a test which is used only to see how much English you know. The result of the English test does not influence the result of the subject test. It is just a test to know how much English you know, and if you need to take any additional courses during your studies at university. So if you want to study engineering in Bologna, for example, in Italian, you would have to take this kind of admission test, which is taken also, you can take it also several times a year. There is a test in April, June, July, and also at the end of August. And there is only one date in September for non-European Union students. So it's a test that you can repeat to see if you can improve your result. There are some issues also in repeating this test, but this is we go into too many details. The other test, which is quite popular, is the TOLC-E. This is always, I'm showing this test to you because these are the tests taken in Italian language, right? You want to study economics, international relations, political science. This is the test which the university usually asks the students to sit. TOLC-E, we call it in Italian, TOLC-E in English. It's always computer-based. It's 36 questions. You have logic, text comprehension, math, and English. Then each university, depending on the faculty you're choosing, whether it's economics or whether it's political science, whether sets the minimum score. To give you an example, for economics at Bicocca, Milano, Università degli Studi di Bicocca, it is very important that at least 50% of the math questions are answered correctly, and that would be the minimum score. So there is a focus on math. Other universities, depending on the degree course, will have a focus on other, maybe other type of replies. So TOLC-E, also very versatile test used by many universities for various degrees. We're always talking about Italian degree courses run in Italian language. And then we come to what many of you are expecting or want to know. Test Arcade. Test Arcade is the new test. It was introduced this year for the first time. And for the first time, it was an architecture test computer-based. This was an option which has been introduced due to the COVID emergency, because normally until 2019, so pre-COVID situation, As I said, architecture was a national test. It was paper-based. It was managed entirely by the Ministry of Education. There was one date in September. All the students would go to university and sit physically for the paper-based test. This year, this was not possible, so there was Test Arcade with quite a few new features. First of all, we go to the structure. Last year, so 2019, the paper-based test was like any other medicine test or veterinary science test, as I showed to you before, with 60 questions. This year, the questions were reduced to 40. So less questions, 40 questions, always with 5 options and one answer and one answer. There are a lot of questions, and I think that we will answer the question later when I finish. I just realized that there are questions coming in, and this is and we'll answer later. So let's concentrate to Test Arcade. This is the architecture test. This is the structure of the test for all the architecture studies degrees in the Italian universities. So this test is not only local because the Ministry of Education has decided the structure. They said there must be 8 questions on general culture, 6 questions logical reasoning, 12 questions on history, which is history, arts, history and history of architecture, drawing and representation, 6 questions, and 8 questions math and physics. So this is the structure, okay? Which is the same no matter if you're taking the test for Torino, for Milano, for Florence, for Sassari, for Bologna. It doesn't matter. This is the structure. This year, this test, the content of this test and the platform to run the test for most universities was run by CISIA, which is the one that also runs the different TOLC test. Just that they had different dates. So for example, on the 2nd of September, if you were applying to Politecnico of Milano, that was the day in which you had to take your Test Arcade. You had to connect with your computer on the platform after certain procedures, and you had to answer the questions. Okay. Then on the 8th of September, for example, there were 8 and the 16th were the other dates in the various Italian universities. The only campus that decided to, of course, they had to run the same test, but not to use the services of CISIA, the body which usually organizes the test for university, is Politecnico di Torino. Torino had its own test on the 4th of September with this same structure. So the same number of questions, but of course the content differ. So the big difference this year was that until 2019, it was one test, same content for all university. This year, it was same structure, so same number of questions, but different dates and different contents depending on university. So I cannot tell you what was the test for the University of Florence or the University of Bologna, because they had different content. There was also, being computer-based, a restriction on time. So each section had to be completed in a certain number of minutes. And once those minutes were expired, you could not go back to answer or correct the test. So it was a little bit, you know, there was also this, this necessity of time management. The scoring stayed the same, so 1.5 of the correct answer and minus 0.40 for the wrong answer and 0 points for each unanswered question. So this was the test arcade, which changed this year. Many of you are asking how to prepare. I will reply to all your questions set in the chat at the end of my talk. We are almost there. Then there are other universities which have their own testing system. This means that they develop their own test. For example, engineering. You want to study engineering at Politecnico of Milano or Politecnico of Torino, they have their own test. So Milano has a test which is with 65 questions. It's quite a tough one. 25 question math and statistics, 5 question text comprehension, then 5 physics, and then 30, the English language is always to see if students know English. It has nothing to do with the score you will obtain through the test. Torino too has its own engineering test with 42 questions. So you have 18 questions math, 6 questions text comprehension, logical reasoning, and physics. To pass the test, this is also very important. To pass the test for Politecnico di Milano, you must have 60% correct answer, and then you go into a ranking. Less than that, with 60% correct answers, you are quite sure to obtain your placement. In Torino, it's a little bit more articulated. If you have 60% correct answer, you have your placement. You want to study mechanical engineering, your score is 61, your place is guaranteed. You want to study mechanical engineering, your score is 49 or say 50, then you've passed the test, but you're not guaranteed a place in mechanical engineering. Only if a place is made available, but you will be guaranteed a place in all the other choices of engineering you will take. Because usually when you apply for engineering, you always, both at Politecnico di Milano and Torino, you always indicate your main choice, and then you have to indicate other 5-6 choices, so that depending on the scores that you have and the places available, you can be assigned to the degrees courses you have chosen. Okay, the same, some of you go also for design, the same is for design. So both Politecnico di Milano and Torino have always computer-based design test. So at times there are these questions, do I need to prepare a portfolio? No, no portfolio, you need to answer this multiple choice test and to pass it well, because it is quite, especially the Milano one is very competitive, as there are limited number of places. So it is 60 questions in various areas. It's a multiple choice test. General knowledge, geometry and representation, history of art and design, logic, text comprehension, and the English language is always to test your knowledge of English. It has nothing to do with a design test. In Torino is always 42 questions, and it is, you have more or less the same areas of which are tested, so general knowledge, logic and math, 12 questions of history of art and design. They call it project culture, this area, but it's basically knowledge on design, history of art and architecture, and 6 questions on text comprehension. To pass the test, 30 out of 100 is the minimum result. And in Torino, 20 out of 100 for all the students, but with 60, your placement, you are placed, your placement is guaranteed. With less than that, you will be considered into a ranking. So a ranking means that the best results, it's from the best from the top to the bottom result according to the number of places available. In both the test, of course, of Politecnico di Milano, let me go back, it's the same for everybody. Whether you study industrial design, fashion, communication design, you always have to take this test. And it's in Italian, also this test. Let's go to our preparation course. What do we do? What can we do for you? So we offer international students different kind of preparation courses with different length, depending on their needs, of course. So we prepare students in medicine in Italian language. We prepare students in IMAT. We prepare students in veterinary, architecture, design, engineering, economics, fine art, and music. And we have a different length of preparation of preparatory courses. Most of the students coming from Bulgaria choose this course, the short program for university. And at times, if they're preparing for the Italian test, they take also the summer preparation course. This year, we because of the situation, we had only online option, and the experience was very good. So we are also considering to offer the online option again this summer for those students who are unable to come to Italy, or they want to save a little bit of money and then they want to spend for accommodation and flight and so on. But this can be discussed a little bit later. So some of the students, so let me go through this main preparatory courses, and then I'll go to all your answers. Foundation program, it's 31 weeks, it's a long-term course. So this is really thought for students that don't know Italian and need to prepare first their Italian skills up to level B2, which is the minimum level required by university. And then in addition, of course, during this period, this long term, these 8 months that the students are with us, we start preparing them also for the various areas, for the various subjects, depending on what they study. So we offer this test, these preparatory courses, as you can see, in Florence for medicine and veterinary, science, and in Milano for architecture, design, engineering, and economics, but only for the students that need to study in Italian, or they want to take the admission test in Italian, because they need to be very well prepared. Then we have a summer preparatory course, 11 weeks. This is always for Italian studies, Italian degree courses, because there is a small part which is dedicated to the academic part, the Italian for academic purposes, because the Italian language of the test is a bit different from the spoken language. And the second part focuses on the subjects, depending on what you study. So if you want to study architecture in Italian, you have the opportunity, for example, to attend, or design, you have the opportunity to attend this test. And this last is the test that most of the students attend when they come to us. So it's the short course. It's a 6-week program, so it is a very, very intense preparation. And here we prepare for both Italian language test, architecture, design, engineering, and English language test, architecture and IMAT. Some of you in the chat asked me if Politecnico of Milano offers a design course, a test in English. Actually, for engineering, the test is in Italian. It's Politecnico di Torino that has, you can have the test in English for Politecnico di Torino. So I've answered Mira Kosturkova that asked me, can the engineering test in Polyme be taken in English? No, but Politecnico di Torino, yes. When is the test? Is Alexander Sarov is asking me, when is the test of architecture? The test is in September. Usually these tests are in September. There are no books to prepare for Politecnico of Milano architecture entrance exam. I'm sorry to tell you, we are preparing students using our own material and taking material from different books, but there is not a specific book to prepare the test arcade in English. So when we prepare the students, it's because we have our material. If you want to prepare the test in Italian on your own, there are several publishing houses that have books depending on what you want to prepare. One of the most well-known is Alpha Test. Although Alpha Test, some of the books, I have some doubts that they're good, but Alpha Test is the most used books for exam preparation. Of course, I am the director of the school. I suggest taking a preparatory course, because first of all, you confront yourself with teachers and you exercise on test and you have more time to review. The test of previous editions of architecture IMAT can be easily found online. If you look a little bit, you can find, of course, all the tests that you need online. Of course, you always take the test in the year of your graduation. You don't take it in a year in advance. All the university tests usually are always taken in the year of your graduation. Okay, so someone is asking me about the one cycle degree. The one cycle degree course is, like for example, medicine is a one cycle degree course, and it is, of course, in Italian and English because there is always IMAT. Architecture can be a one cycle degree course, and it is only in Italian, and it is offered in most universities. So I hope I've answered the question of Konstantin. Asked me this question. So during the summer, we offer these preparation courses. We have ended, because practically last month in August, the preparatory courses. And I must say, we prepared students for architecture in English, because most of the Bulgarian students coming to us, they study architecture in English. And we prepared some students for the IMAT. This year, I had very good results, because 90% of the students that took the course with us passed the test. I have a 100% result for the Italian. The students that took the architecture test in Italian, but they went to different universities, of course, not only Politecnico di Milano, they also all passed the test. And now I am waiting for the results of the IMAT students, because they were published like 3 days ago. So we are looking at the ranking and seeing how this is functioning. So you can, it is your choice. You can choose to prepare on your own, buying the books. As I said, the books, there are books, but Alpha Test is only for the Italian language test. Then there are some Alpha Tests which prepare, Alpha Test is the publishing house, which prepare for IMAT, but unfortunately, all the explanations are in Italian. So at times it's a bit difficult. We tend to use in our courses, we have our own material, which we take from different books. We take from an English book the part of art history and history of architecture, but a lot it is prepared by our teachers. The teachers we use, this is my last remark, and then maybe if you have more questions, we can do the question and answer. The art teachers for architecture, those are teachers that are teaching already. Those are PhD students or a PhD, so they have already a degree and they are assistants of professors, or they teach at Politecnico of Milano in some cases. And so they're very well prepared for the students and know exactly what is expected from them. I hope that I was I think a little bit fast. I hope that I thank you for your attention. We can have still some questions. Someone is asking me, is the Politecnico di Milano test available in English? Of course, as I said during my presentation, the architecture test, you can study architecture in English or Italian at Politecnico di Milano and Politecnico di Torino. So the test is in English for Politecnico di Milano and for Politecnico di Torino. Is the short preparatory course for medicine student successful for the admission? Yes, but you need to study a lot also on your own. This is for sure. If you want to take the IMAT test and be successful, you need to study quite a lot also on your own. The idea of the short preparatory course is to review what you've done at school. I mean, you are fresh from school, so we don't need to go into. So it's to review and to and of course to make you familiar with the test, with the pressure and things like that. What about architecture in English at Venice University? So I hope, I don't know if you have, maybe you have, will offer a degree course for architecture in English. They will have to have the same structure of the test I've showed, and you can prepare with us. We prepare architecture for all the university, not only Politecnico di Milano or Torino. I'm mentioning a lot Torino and Milano because they are the only universities so far offering a degree course in English. But if you have in Venice will offer finally an architecture degree course in English, we're happy to prepare students. Are there alternative tests which I can take in English instead of Polimi engineering test in Italian? You might be able to take the SAT. You have to check on the Politecnico of Milano website what is acceptable. But you also have to check which are the bachelor degree programs offered in English, because there are not many, there are some. And also remember that Politecnico di Torino offers a few degree course with a full 3 years in English. Usually they have the first year in English, but second and third year in Italian. So be very careful when you read all the information about the courses on the different universities. Okay, this was Margarita. When is admission test date, Margarita? The admission test date this year was the 10th of September. So it's usually the second week of September for IMAT in English, but the first week of September for medicine in Italian. We have 2 new messages. Okay, we offer this year. We offer this year the architecture preparatory test online. So this is the preparatory test we offer. If we are going to do it next year, of course, we're going to offer it online. Merhiban is asking if I have a Cambridge certificate proficiency. So this is the language proficiency. So it has nothing to do with assessing your knowledge of math, physics, biology, chemistry, whatever, depending on the test. You might be exempted from the language test, but not from the subject test. So, okay, you have a language test. So if you have a Cambridge certificate or IELTS 5.5, of course, you have no need to take the English language test. Okay, is the short course for preparation of medicine can be online? Yes, it can be online, and in 2021 it would be then in July. The time is always July and August. If we have enough interested students to take the test online, we can do it online. This year we moved all our preparation courses, IMAT, architecture, engineering, design, everything online. And I must say they ran very well. It was very successful. We do it on a Zoom platform. We used Dropbox for distributing the material. We also used Google Classroom in some cases for uploading material and sharing material. And so this is of course possible. Someone is asking me, in Polimi, this is Stefania, there is a course in architectural design. Architectural design is the 3-year bachelor degree course of architecture. It's just called architectural design. So it is not a different course.
Georgia?
Yes.
I think you've answered like most of the questions, but some students are asking if you can take if you're going to offer the course during the academic year, the preparatory course online.
During the academic year, like January?
Yes, yes, during the academic year.
To tell you the truth, I'm preparing the brochure now, so I haven't thought about it, but it is something that we can discuss. So it could be that if we have a number of students, we could offer it online during the academic year. We never thought about it because students have school, so at times it's difficult, and at times they attend courses locally, but it is something we could work on. I'm very open to it. As I said, our course offer is based most on the summer and most with the students coming in present. So we never thought of offering anything during the academic year. But if there is interest, it's something that we can consider depending on the faculty they want to attend.
Okay, there is a questions about the price of the course. We can send a follow-up where you can get the price for the courses plus all the necessary information. And if you book the course through Skylines, we are working a few years already with Georgia and Lingua Viva, and we're happy to share that with you. So if you book the course with Skylines, you can have a 10% discount on the price.
Margarita asked, what is the results IMA to be accepted for medicine? It varies from year to year. I can tell you, because now the ranking are open, that in this first, the results were published on the 7th of October. So in this first ranking, so this is the first ranking, the minimum score was 50,4, so around 50. The minimum score to enter a university. It varies from university to university based. So it was 50/40, and it was, I think, for the University of Messina. This was the lowest minimum score to access the IMAT test. So less than 50 is always very difficult. So are there any other questions? So you can book a meeting, like short meetings with me through Calendify. And
the link, Georgia.
Lilia posted the link. We can maybe discuss some more particular details. And I hope that this overview has been useful for you. And someone, Basilena, is asking if there is a test required for fashion. If you study fashion at Politecnico di Milano Design School, yes, you have to take the test of design. If you study fashion design at UAV, there is a test of design. Usually the course is in Italian. If you go to private higher institutions, Skylines can surely advise you on the various private higher education institutes. There is no test, but there is a portfolio. But at university, usually, I'm mentioning the Politecnico di Milano has a 3-year fashion design course, and UAV Venice has also a 3-year fashion design course, and there is a test. So if I've answered, Christina, we just said that all the information on the prices will be given by Skylines. Okay, so I think that I hope I've answered all the questions, and I'm happy to answer more questions during the sessions. I don't know how much time do we have, Lilia?
We've got another 5 minutes if the students want to ask some more questions.
Yeah. So if you want to ask some more questions, you are free to ask, of course. I will add also something that what I think makes Lingua Viva our courses different, or make us different. So, Stefania is asking, do we need portfolio for the bachelor courses? You don't need portfolio for architecture or design. You need to pass the test. There is no need. It's not a portfolio. Maybe you need it for the UAV. It depends on the but for the bachelor courses, design and architecture, you don't need them. Is there a day with a consultation of what are the IT band is enough for medicine? Yes, 5.5 is enough for it's the basic for medicine, which is equivalent to a B2, upper intermediate level to take the IMAT test. So the other thing I was saying is that, of course, I am dealing since, this is my, I don't know, maybe 19th, 20th, 22 years. I'm dealing with preparatory courses for university and test and all the issues that students have when they have to apply to universities. So we also offer assistance in, of course, in the application process, or if you have any problems afterwards, you know, ranking and stuff like that, we can give you some advice. Michaela is asking, how many university can you apply? As a U student, as many as you want. Usually I think they ask for 2 years for the Cambridge certificate. So if you are applying for the IMAT, for example, there are 13 universities applying for the offering IMAT degree courses. So I would suggest apply to all of them. What is important when choosing a university is your first choice. You have to think when you do the first choice for applying to especially IMAT. Okay, you have to think, because most of the students go for, I want to study in Milano IMAT, but it's only 16 places and number 16 has scored, I don't know, 52, 55. So you need to know that you have to score very high to get into certain choices. So it is very important to apply to all, but to think about the first choice. Konstantin is asking me that if you study in Italian, do you need an English certificate? Yes, and usually it's a B1. So an IELTS 5 would be sufficient for the Italian language studies. Basilena, Cambridge certificate still valid if I apply with it 3 years after getting it? Usually 2 years is the minimum. So you will have to ask the secretariat if they can still accept it with the 3 year, but usually they ask not older than 2 years. The places for medicine are the same for Italian and European students. So there is not a place for the European students and a place for the Italian. You are competing with Italian and European students. And if you are referring, Margarita, to medicine in English, the university that offers the largest number of places is the most difficult to enter is Pavia, which has 40 places. But remember that number 40 in Pavia scores 44 this year. The minimum score was 44. So it is quite a lot, because I have a student that scored 38 and we're waiting hopefully for the ranking. So the number of places, it's the same. Generally speaking, Italian, medicine for Italian, they are scattered all through Italy. So the number of places is approximately 8,000, 9,000 places in total, but there are 63,000 students applying. So you understand how competitive this is.
Georgia, we've got to finish.
Yes.
There are but more questions coming, but I would suggest to the students to write directly to Skylines. We'll be happy to help, and they can also book via Calendly. They can book, I've posted earlier, they can book the meeting one-to-one with Georgia. Georgia, thank you for being with us. It was great, and thank you for all the students attending today.
Okay, so thank you very much. Enjoy your Sunday, and I'll talk to you soon. When you have questions, of course, I'm available to answer them. So thank you.
Thank you, Georgia.
Thank you.
Thank you. Току-що поставих последния линк за заключителната презентация. Който желае, нека да се присъедини за повече въпроси към консултантите на Skylines. Благодарим ви. Довиждане.